Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We have a great mix of clips today, some very interesting new things going on. I tried to make sure that today's clips span a diverse range of topics. Don't forget to hit like and don't forget to drop your theories and your comments on the video clips down below. With that being said, let's get after it.
They must be ready for the truth to come out about that Miami Mall incident. Because before, if you search for videos about it, you couldn't find anything. Now the videos are resurfacing. I'm talking about videos from 2024 when it actually happened. People who were actually there. Matter of fact, look at this. This video is from January 2024.
This so crazy.
Listen.
I'm posting this and I want y'all to repost, save this video, post it on other platforms before it gets taken down. Because I want to clear up some of this misinformation about the Bayside Mall incident that happened. So me and my girl was in town and we were shopping at the mall and we noticed a lot of kids there. It wasn't a real big deal at first until they got to arguing and shoving, and then like weapons got brought in and they started fighting, running all over the mall, chaos just all over the place. So we thought we heard gunshots, but it turns out that that was actually fireworks. But either way, that caused everybody to start rushing for the doors. People was leaving stuff behind. I mean, just dragging their kids. It was just complete chaos, man. Anyway, so as we running, we look back and we noticed some weird shapes taller than me. I'm 6'2", shadowy, dark, solid shapes, not human. I promise these is not human. I mean, it made the hair stand up on my skin. And we just booked it for the doors after that, man.
Something happened that day, and they hid it from that day. Now, let me ask you this. Why are these videos resurfacing now? You heard President Obama say that there are aliens. You heard the president say that he's going to release the alien files. And then, mysteriously after that, they start releasing these videos all over again, or unblocking these videos. Go down the Miami Mall rabbit hole. Look up a person named Fitz. See what Fitz said. See what he said happened. He gave a visual story about what happened. He has a 7-part series story about everything that happened in that mall. There is no way that teenage kids would mandate that many police to come to a mall. They seen something, and the proof is coming out. I'm out.
It's very interesting that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we're starting to see a resurgence of clips or video content regarding this specific topic. And I don't know what to think about the Fitz character, or was it Fitz or Fritz? But if I recall correctly, he eventually came out and said that he had made up his entire story. But we all know something was going on that directly flies in the face of the narrative they were giving us. And I almost wonder if that guy wasn't making up his story, but thought, well, for the safety of myself and my family, I'm going to go along with what the government's telling me to do and keep my mouth shut. It wouldn't be the first time that someone had to retract a statement because they were being threatened. And it may just be that they're supposedly about to release all this alien UFO information and redact a bunch of stuff and finally tell us, at least to an extent, what's actually happening. So maybe they're not suppressing the story anymore because they're fixing to reveal everything. Just keep in mind, whatever they reveal is going to be some sort of propaganda. We're going to have to learn pretty quick how to read in between the lines of whatever nonsense it is that they start feeding us. But I'm wondering if, perhaps, some of the stories that were being spread out there, some of the theories that were going around about the Bayside Mall incident, maybe a lot of that was nonsense, but the theories would back up the propaganda they're about to give us. So maybe there is an artificial resurgence of this story. Maybe stuff like this is starting to come out again because they want people to see it and go, I knew it. What do you all think?
Stop taking pictures and videos outside, especially your daughter or your wife, and all children. AI has officially empowered the smugglers to know where your children are at all times. And somehow it's perfectly legal. Make sure you get this out to everybody. So here's a video with this child. They're using this AI program, which goes into a database, looks at the entire Earth, and it'll tell you exactly where the picture is taken. And I've seen so many different analysis from the same AI bot, and it's always dead on every single time. He was standing right there, right by the fence. You can see right there. Can you even imagine how dangerous this is? They can find out your exact location. And the even crazier part, I've seen where they're able to do it within buildings through realtor listings. Meaning if you take a picture in your house and it has enough of your house's details, it can tell people exactly where you live. Do you know how many missing children? Do you know how many missing women we have a year? But they don't care because they're getting rich off of AI. Spread the word.
I wonder just how accurate this is. Clearly, if you take a photo out by the street, it's going to use Google Maps or Google Street View, and it's going to locate where you are based on that information. And if you take a picture inside of a house and that house has previously been listed online for sale, they're going to use those photos to track you down. But I wonder just how good it is. Like, for example, my house, I was the first person to ever live in it. So aside from photos that have been posted online from people coming over and hanging out, there's not really any photos to go off of for the interior of my home. And we routinely change the decor inside the main living quarters of my house. So for photos that were posted to the internet 2 years ago, I've done changing the appearance of my living room like 3 times since then. And then thinking about the interior of homes that are posted on Zillow listings, how good is it going to be if the house that you're living in is a model home? And what I mean by that is, drive around in one of these residential neighborhoods and you'll see 200 copies of the same house. How are they going to determine which one of those 200 houses you're actually in? And the odds are there's 200 more of them in another neighborhood in another state. A lot of these companies will go in and build entire neighborhoods with only 2 or 3 variations of a floor plan. But what I worry is about to start happening is you're going to post some photo on the internet. They're going to see you in that photo, recognize where it is using AI, and then, because they have so many cameras everywhere, they're going to be able to go back and track you and see where you went from the moment that you took that photo, and you're not going to be able to hide. We're all going to have to start leaving the house carrying multiple disguises with us and changing out our appearance every half hour. This is going to get ridiculous.
The following home security camera footage, ring footage, is from a woman named Tammy. On February 20th, she arrived home when she saw something literally in real life that she cannot explain. She literally cannot wrap her brain around this because she has no idea what it is. There's a creature behind her in that garage area across the street, walking across, looking like it's searching for something. It has a bright light. But the thing is, when you zoom in, this thing is crawling. But what's even weirder is it says hello to her. I've played this video so many times over and over and tried to enhance it as much as I can. It is definitely something crawling across that lawn. But what is it? And why did it say hello? Tell me what you think.
Alright, when I first come across this, my immediate thought was this is some teenager running around on all fours with a headlamp on their head. The only thing that makes me second guess that is the height that it appears to be at whenever it stands up. Unless this person has some sort of light on their hat or something like that, and they can quickly take their hat off and raise it above their head to give the appearance of more height. Because whatever it is, if it is just standing with this light attached to its forehead, the thing is huge. It reaches the same height as the roof of that structure. But then whenever it drops back down to all fours, it's so close to the ground, it looks like if it was holding its hat above its head, it dropped it straight on the ground with the light facing directly toward the Ring doorbell camera the entire time. But the lady who uploaded this originally apparently posted an update video as well, and it does show a much clearer image, and it does appear to be some teenager or something running around on all fours, but it does not make it any less creepy.
So this is a follow-up into the viral video I shared today on February 24th, 2026 in regards to that shape-shifting alien creature thing. Well, Tammy has come forward and stated that she believes that this may be a Wendigo, and she's provided more of her Ring home security camera footage. And this thing literally looks like it goes from a person back to a dog or something on all fours. Maybe it's somebody playing a joke, but regardless, this is weird footage. And for those who think it's AI, this is not AI.
Alright, getting a better look at that, especially seeing them walk down the sidewalk at the end of the last clip, it certainly seems like it's just some teenager or somebody with a headlamp on their head. Granted, they are walking very strangely, but something I really didn't notice the first few times that I looked at the first clip is there seems to be a logical explanation as to how the light almost hits the roof of that structure when they stand up. It looks like there's a picnic table or something in that building, and they jump up onto it and stand up on that. And then from there, they jump down to the ground. And it may just be that I'm 43 years old and I'm not in the physical shape that I used to be in, but I cannot imagine somebody running on all fours at that speed without putting in considerable practice. Though I'm sure that if you did practice something like that, it could be done. But the person looked very comfortable running on all fours. So I'm going to say this is more than likely just a teenager trying to creep out the neighborhood. But it is a very creepy catch on a Ring doorbell camera. I'm going to go with this is just a teenager with nothing better to do.
Scientists just discovered over 27,000 barrels of toxic waste that was dumped in the ocean that are corroding and leaking. And by the way, nobody knows what exactly is inside of them. So from the 1930s all the way up until 1972, the US government approved companies to dump industrial waste directly into the Pacific Ocean off of the coast of LA. We're talking about not only just refinery chemicals, but also military explosive, pesticides, and even radioactive material just tossed into the water in thin steel barrels. And this is where it actually gets insane, because scientists were actually able to map out 36,000 acres of the seafloor, and they found 27,000 barrel-shaped objects sitting 3,000 feet deep. About a third of them now have white rings forming around them, and researchers just confirmed that those halos are caused by chemical waste that is actively leaking out. What's insane is that they're saying that the leaking waste turned the surrounding sediment so toxic that there's no microbial life anywhere near it. Dude, the lead researcher himself said that it's shocking that over 50 years later they're still seeing these effects. Yeah, and by the way, they can't even clean it up right now because disturbing the sediment could actually spread the contamination further. So what are we doing?
Seeing stuff like this, knowing that there's no way we could possibly even hope to clean something like that up. This stuff has likely been down there leaking for decades, and you're you're not going to be able to filter the water in the ocean. But seeing stuff like this makes me feel like there's no doubt we're not going to be here a couple hundred years from now. Man has completely destroyed this planet. And we're talking about the ocean, where there's currents that carry this contaminated water all over the planet. I am really starting to understand why God decided it would be necessary to completely obliterate this planet and build an entirely new Earth. By the time we reach the final days, this Earth is going to be wrecked. And they seriously expect us to be worried about climate change? You're not going to get enough CO2 out of the air to fix a problem like this.
This new data centers report is extremely concerning. It found that data centers' air pollution is associated with lung issues, death, and premature deaths. Now, according to a new report, data center emissions could cause breathing issues and premature deaths for those living nearby. A report from Community and Environmental Defense Services suggests states require data centers to provide health impact assessments before they're built to prevent negative effects on nearby residents' health. Now, Ohio does not require health impact reports for data centers, but Central Ohioans are becoming more wary of data center pollutants and health risks. This is serious, people. The report was compiled by CEDS founder and president Richard Klein, who has been working in development-related concerns for 40 years. Klein found a single data center could pose negative health risks for people living at least 0.6 miles away, sometimes further. Klein said risks increase when a home is near multiple data centers. Now, a growing number of Central Ohioans live near one or more data centers or will in the near future. There are 130 data centers in the Columbus area alone, with large concentrations of data centers in New Albany, Western Licking County, and Hilliard. Klein said air pollution risks come from data centers emitting nitrogen dioxide and tiny inhalable particles that can harm people's lungs. According to the National Institute of Health, the tiny inhalable particles cause between 100,000 and 200,000 premature deaths each year. Terrible. This is worrisome. And I live in Ohio. People, obviously this is becoming a real problem. Not good.
So when they say that it's causing between 100,000 and 200,000 premature deaths per year, are they saying like each individual data center is causing that, or all of the data centers combined? That is a very important detail I feel like they skipped over. But either way, this kind of makes sense. If they want to put us all in 15-minute smart cities, this is probably a good way to do it. They're going to make the entirety of the rest of the landscape completely uninhabitable. All I know is it is infuriating to see what the powers that be are doing to this planet while gaslighting us about CO2 emissions, how we need to start all switching over to electric cars, and passing law after law about new restrictions that we all have to abide by because we need to save the planet.
So we're supposed to believe a 6-foot long, 3-foot wide piece of ice fell off of a plane into a house in Flagler County, Florida. And oh, you don't know what I'm talking about? Look at this.
So there was an incident where a piece of ice went through the next door neighbors. The neighbor next door saw the ice fall from the sky, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of ice. There's ice over here.
So allegedly, let's just say allegedly, that piece of ice came from a plane. Come on now. Flagler County, Florida. As I always say, I'm not big on conspiracies. I'm not. But something's not adding up. And the fact that the next door neighbor seen when this was happening and didn't record any of it is puzzling to me. It's only one word that comes to mind when I see this. And the word is firmament. A 6-foot piece of ice fell out the sky into a home today.
So I couldn't find confirmation on when exactly this happened, but I think that it happened at the end of 2025. And I don't think that this came from the firmament, even though I believe in a firmament, or that at least there used to be one there. I don't really have any reason to believe that there's not one there currently. I'm completely convinced that we live on a flat plane. But what this makes me start thinking about is all of the warnings in the book of Revelation about how things are going to start falling out of the sky, that the heavens will be shaken, that stars will fall. And I think it would be a stretch to assume that that was a fallen star. But the story that they're giving us doesn't seem to add up. Why would there even be a 6-foot long block of ice on an airplane? I get that assuming it fell from a plane is probably the most logical thing to assume, but in order for that to make sense, there has to be a reason why a plane would be flying around with a 6-foot block of ice on it. And I can't find anything that seems like a logical reason why something like that would be on a plane. But I am certain that we have at least a handful of viewers who know more about planes than what I do. So could one of you explain to me why there would even be a 6-foot block of ice on an airplane? And if there are any of you who are familiar enough with air travel that this makes sense to you, why would this thing fall out of the sky? Where are they storing ice on an airplane that would make it possible for them to lose it like this? Because I feel like as many planes as there are flying overhead, if this was a reasonable explanation as to what's going on here, this would probably at least be a somewhat common occurrence.
Welcome to my reoccurring segment, Why Security Nerds Like Dumb Appliances. We've got a robot vacuum cleaner that had a camera on it that connected to the Wi-Fi, and guess what? They did no authentication whatsoever. Anyone could look at anyone's robot vacuum camera inside their house. Yeah. All right, the funny part about this one was the guy got the vacuum for himself, didn't want to use their mobile app, threw Claude code at it. It reverse engineered the freaking API. Figured out this protocol MQTT that it used to communicate with the devices, realized that the auth token that it pulled off the server that it used to authenticate for the actual vacuum that he owned worked for everyone's vacuum. 7,000 vacuums online at the time that he found this. Device information, maps of your home, live camera feeds, and audio streams. But don't worry everyone, they investigated. And just nearly all of the activity that was found was linked to the security researcher. What the hell does that mean? I don't care if there's one other guy out there that was looking at all these live camera feeds in people's homes. I think we should know about it. Also, great, you fixed the token thing so the hackers can't see any of it. Can your employees see these camera feeds? If you got one of these DJI Romos, for a period of time, your camera feed, the guy was like controlling them with a PS5 or an Xbox controller, and he could have just controlled yours in your house as well. I get that you need a bunch of the device information to go back to the cloud to make the mobile app work, but why do you need live audio and video going back to your cloud servers? I hate it.
I just wanted to throw this clip in here just for any of you who actually have one of these things in your living room, just to give you a heads up. Everybody can see that you're walking around your house in your bathrobe or your underwear. As often as information like this comes out, as often as these things are being exposed as fully hackable or as already having been hacked, how does anyone trust putting these smart devices in their home? I get that they're convenient. I get that it sucks to have to pause the office and get off your recliner and manually vacuum the living room. But is it worth the risk of everything that you think is private being filmed in your living room? And I'm sure that people have these things vacuuming their bedrooms too, probably while they're having intimate relations. Anything that has a camera on it and is connected to the internet should not be in your home. Some people got to learn the hard way though, I guess. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow with another one. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to drop your theories and your comments in the comments section down below. But guys and gals, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day. And I will see you all tomorrow.